Hey guys, this is Larry David. I'm bringing you a pro Dota commentary. This match is for the Dota 2 Europe Challenge between XP and DD, formerly known as SK. So unfortunately we did miss the picking and banning stage, but just sort of going over the lineups quickly, run through the rosters here. We have Loda on the Shadow Shaman,
30 seconds
Ake on the Venomancer, Nagaraya on the Windrunner, Pycat on the Spectre, and Miracle on the Tidehunter for the Radiant. So very team fight oriented lineup, and obviously you've Spectre, the extremely tanky late game carry. On the DD side we have M playing the Queen of Pain, L, who I believe is Link, playing the Anti-Mage, another M. Sorry I don't know exactly what these letters stand for in some cases, playing the Sand King. Rise on the Lich, and Angel on the Darkseer. So in terms of the, looks like the creeps are just spawning now, so in terms of the laning stage, looks like DD not really sure how they want to lane this. Sand King kind of roaming around here, maybe looking to pick up this haste rune, but that would be a mistake. It is being camped up by two XP heroes, maybe looking to set up a first blood on the mid lane. Venomancer is going to pick it up, he's going to head top, so in the top lane we're going to have Queen of Pain laning against a Spectre, and presumably the Venomancer supporting him. This is going to be hard lane for Queen of Pain to get any farm. Venomancer, one of the best early game harassers. This might be a first blood. M has not skilled Blink at level 1, expecting a solo against the Spectre, and he's going to go down right away. A huge mistake by M. You really need to take a point in Blink at level 1, especially when you're soloing. I guess she was expecting some support from the Sand King, but it wasn't there in time. So really heads up play by XP, and a bit of a blunder coming out from SK. You really, if anything, hold the skill point in reserve. That level 1 Shadow Strike is not going to do too much for you. Gush comes out on Anti-Mage. So in the middle lane, we are going to see an Anti-Mage dual lane with a Lich. Normally a very powerful dual lane. Because of the deny skill, you're able to keep the creeps pushed back on your side of the river, making it safer for Anti-Mage to farm. And because he's so close to the tower at all times, as these two towers you can see on the map are a lot closer than the towers in the long lanes, or in the side lanes, it's a lot easier to avoid getting ganked. So that should be a pretty decent lane for him to farm normally. Against Shadow Shaman and Tidehunter, he might have some trouble, especially in these early levels. Down in the bottom lane, we are going to see Windrunner versus Darkseer. Would expect Windrunner to have a pretty significant advantage here. Being a ranged hero, she's obviously going to be a lot more effective at harassment. Power Shot just giving you a lot of lane control, pushing ability. Darkseer shouldn't die in this lane, but he should be able to get some levels, but he's going to have a hard time farming well. So I would definitely give the edge there to the Radiant. This middle lane, it's hard to say. Could go either way. The downside to putting Shadow Shaman in a dual lane like this is he's not going to get a quick level 6, and that's really important when you run a Shadow Shaman. You want to get a quick level 6 so you can start pushing towers, pressuring heroes, and potentially getting some kills as well with those wards. Action in the top lane, Burrow Strike goes on to Ake, but he's going to be just fine.
Double damage.
Queen of Pain, so some very unusual dual lanes we're seeing here. Queen of Pain, another hero that really benefits from just soloing and getting some fast levels. You really want to max out that Blink, you want to max out that Scream of Pain, and you want to get that level 2 ultimate. I mean, she really doesn't hit her stride until level 7 to 11 or so, but because she's in this dual lane and the pull is blocked off, they're going to have a very hard time getting those levels for her. So two heroes that you normally expect to see soloing, not going to get that solo experience. Kind of an even trade-off in that regard, as they are on opposite sides, but still really not what you're looking for. So far, the gold graph pretty even. Really, just the first blood is what's separating the two teams right now. Spectre almost up to his Ring of Health. That's going to allow him to stay in lane a lot easier. It doesn't seem like they're able to really shut down the Spectre's farm, and that's going to be a bit of a concern as we move into the mid game. So they're going to need to set up some ganks. Sand King uses the Sandstorm, but unfortunately there is a Sentry Ward there, so he's going to go down. And Queen of Pain really not able to do anything. So this dual lane, oh, sorry I missed the bottom. Action bottom. Windrunner almost going down to Darkseer, but does end up picking up the kill. So XP really having a great time in both side lanes right now. And the middle lane is not exactly an easy one for DD either. Ding Dong, I suppose, stands for. Now, just taking a quick look at our farm here. Definitely favoring XP. 14 on the Shadow Shaman, 14 on the Windrunner, 14 on the Spectre. All three heroes farming really well. Queen of Pain not doing too poorly in that top lane, but definitely having some issues. Anti-Mage actually leading the way with 17 creeps, but I think he's going to need more than just a slight edge in creeps to carry this one, based on how his side lanes are performing so far. One of the, I don't want to say downside, but one of the issues with Lich as a babysitter, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that he's really not effective at ganking early on, to send him on ganking missions really wastes his utility as a laning hero. He's going to fight Tidehunter for the rune, but Tidehunter is going to... I believe Lich actually denied the rune there, so really well done. He did auto-attack it down. So Tidehunter was not able to bottle that. I believe Tidehunter is trying to use Shadow Shaman's bottle, so pretty nice play by XP here, or at least an attempt. Shadow Shaman stays in the lane, continues getting the XP, and meanwhile Tidehunter goes to check the rune for him and fill up his bottle. Unfortunately, heads-up play from the Lich going to prevent that. Just to finish what I was saying about the Lich, though, he's really a lot more effective when he's able to sit in lane and continue denying creeps. If you leave the lane for too long, that's one of his best, one of the main reasons to pick him. And you miss out on that, so. In terms of this bottom lane, I'm surprised Darkseer's farming this well. Windrunner perhaps not harassing as much as she should be. In fact, being harassed a little bit. Gonna have to be forced to pop off the Windrun. Angel's gonna be very happy about that. Windrun a lot less spammable than Surge, and costs a good chunk more mana. So she's gonna have to be careful, but the harassment is coming back out now. Haven't really talked too much about how the team lineups differ here. Sentinel probably having the stronger pushing lineup between the Shadow Shaman and the Rasta wards. The Shadow Shaman and the Venomancer wards. That's a lot of pushing power.
Bottom tower
They also have great team fight. Shadow Shaman a great team fight hero with all his disables as well as the wards. A lot of action going on with this top rune. Sand King does pick up the double damage. Load is going to go down here, and it is Sand King who picks that one up. So Anti-Mage not going to get the gold, but nonetheless, Sand King not having a good start, so that's going to get him closer to his boots or possibly the next set of wards. In terms of the lineups, I think Radiant does have the edge in terms of pushing and team fight, whereas the Dire seems to have more mobility between the Queen of Pain and the Anti-Mage Blinks, as well as the Sand King Burrow Strike, and then of course the Darkseer with his Surge. So probably the more ganking-oriented, farming lineup. Anti-Mage and Queen of Pain both benefiting a lot from farm. Spectre, of course, benefits from it too. In terms, if this does go late game, it's really hard to say who will win. I think the Radiant will have an easier time of it, just because they have so many more ultimates that can be comboed together. If Tidehunter hits a good Ravage and Spectre ults in, Venomancer follows up, that's just so much damage, and it's really going to be hard to avoid that because of that Spectre ultimate being global, and Ravage being such a big AoE. So in the team fight department, I would think the Radiant would have a better time of it, but of course that's all going to come down to how heroes are farming, positioning, things like that. But just in terms of the hero lineups, I would give the edge in that regard to Radiant. So I kind of like Radiant's lineup better here. The one thing they really have going for them is the mobility of the Anti-Mage, the Queen of Pain, the Sand King, and the Darkseer. Really everyone except for Lich. So hard to take down. They don't have many hard stuns, though. All they really have is the Sand King, and that could be an issue versus a hero like a Spectre, as well as someone like a Rasta who's got a long channeling disable. So not too much action right now. It sort of looks like things are settling down into a little bit of a farming race here. Spectre and Anti-Mage really neck and neck. 38 creeps on the Anti-Mage, 36 on the Spectre. Spectre getting a lot more denies, but that's to be expected in the side lane. He's having a little bit of an easier time than this Anti-Mage is up versus the constant harassment of the Shadow Shaman. Anti-Mage is going to be rushy at Battlefield, already purchasing the Perseverance. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's okay to go Battle Fury, it's just to buy the Perseverance now is really showing your hand. Whereas if you just hold on to the Ring of Hell, maybe pick up your Power Treads and then finish the Battle Fury a little bit later, or even just get some boots and then hold on to the gold. You're not telling your opponent what you're going to be doing, so they don't know you want to farm all game. But at the same time, he will be able to get a little bit quicker, and it gives him that mana regen in lane, so that's perhaps what he was thinking when he made that purchase. Ake really being a bully on this top lane. This just shows you how powerful a hero Venomancer is early on in the lane. He's actually driving Queen of Pain and Sand King. Both two pretty game. Spectre ultimate comes down, probably looking to go on this Darkseer. Power Shot's not going to connect, and Spectre's not going to ult in because of that. Wanted to pick up that last hit on Angel, but the Power Shot just narrowly missing. So good escape there. Angel going to head back to base, heal up, and be just fine. But you see the problem with this dual lane mid. It's almost 10 minutes in. Loda's still looking for that level 6. But that death really set him back, as well as the constant presence of this Tidehunter. But he doesn't have a choice here. He really cannot lane against the anti-mage Lich. All Lich has to do is throw out a Frost Nova, and anti-mage blinks in and starts auto-attacking. Loda will be dead if it's a one-on-one matchup. He can try and disable one, but the other will be hitting him. And he's actually going to go down here. Great play by Link, sensing the Tidehunter's departure, and they actually knew he was leaving because of this ward. So it'll be interesting to see if XP ends up counter-warding that, or if they're just going to assume that DD just had some good timing there. Spectre and leaving his lane this early, very unusual. The creep wave is extremely pushed. There's a big fight over the DD rune here. Ake's going to pick that one up, and that's going to spell the death of this Lich. He's got the level 6 ultimate, but he doesn't have any mana for it. Might have been able, should have been able to at least kill the Venomancer if he had that. That's unfortunate. So just doing a quick gold check here. It's almost dead even. You wouldn't expect to see a big difference this early. Anti-Mage definitely getting some good farm early. Up to 51 creeps, Pycat City at 47. So pretty even between those two. You know, really the farm looks pretty even across the board. Darkseer actually out-farming Windrunner, which I really think Windrunner has the advantage in this lane, but you know, whether it's just Angel playing well, and we are going to see Shadow Shaman hits level 6, and it's time to push. Venomancer actually out-leveling the Shadow Shaman mid. That's pretty unusual. Tidehunter's going to go down here. So a good response with that Lich ultimate. Going to pick up a kill there. And the push should be over at this point, so a nice defense, really. They may try and do a little more damage, but this tower is going to stand for now. Darkseer already hitting level 9, so he's actually the highest level hero in the game. Even though he's 0-1, that's pretty shocking. You know, it seems like he has been jungling possibly a little bit with the Ion Shell after pushing the lane. So that may be where he's getting the slight EXP edge. It's hard to say, though. But in any case, he's doing a great job. Or maybe just less denies for him. Some nuke damage coming out into Spectre, but between the power treads and the Vanguard, good luck killing this guy. He is quite tanky. He has actually not chosen to max Dispersion as his second skill. He's gotten 1 point of Desolate, so going for kind of a mixed build. Most Spectres do max Dispersion as their second ability, and it looks like he is going to be doing that. Angel being pretty aggressive here, but because he's got that surge, he feels fairly safe. In fact, he's being really aggressive here. He's got Sand King backing him up, but they are diving quite far. Tidehunter's coming over. He still doesn't have his ultimate, unfortunately. Him and Shadow Shaman really struggling in the levels right now. So Anti-Mage almost has that Battle Fury. If they don't gank this guy, I want to say in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes, or if they're not successful, he's going to finish up those power treads and be well on his way to either a Vitality Booster or a Yasha or an Ultimate Orb for the Manta style. So then he's going to become a real big issue for them. Spectre can go stand toe-to-toe with the Anti-Mage if they have comparable farm. The problem is that the Anti-Mage can farm a lot faster than the Spectre, especially if he rushes a Battle Fury. Looks like some action bottom. Sand King does pop the ultimate just for Venomancer, but they are going to get the kill. That's not a bad choice this early in the game. You know, some players, especially in public games, hold on to those big AoE ultimates, really wanting to hit 3 or 4 heroes. But this early in the game, you're often better off just taking the free kill, because you're not going to see that many heroes grouped up for the most part. And you know, just getting that kill, by the time the next team fight comes, the ultimate will be cooled down. So, nice play by Sand King there, picking up a kill. And the gold graph is going to dip a little bit in favor of the Dire. And now that Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury, we're going to see that really skyrocket up pretty quickly. Expect him to go for the power treads and then the standard, either Manta style or Vitality Booster into Manta style. And in the next 5 minutes, he'll have those power treads. He'll probably have either half of the Manta or the Vitality Booster and be working on the Manta. Angel on the bottom lane, but they just can't do anything to him. Okay, Shackle Shot's going to hit. Tidehunter should have his ultimate. He's still level 5. How is this Tidehunter still level 5? Oh my god, this is so unfortunate. Angel might get away here. Spectre ults in. They do not want to let him escape again. Angel's shenanigans on the bottom lane are officially over, folks. Pycat takes him down, but they had to use a Spectre ultimate just for that. Could this Tidehunter please stop roaming and get level 6? He will finally pick it up from that kill. Angel doing a little bit of all-chat trolling here. So Loda really wants to push this middle tower. He's so under-leveled, though. Anti-Mage is up to level 10, and they were both in a dual lane situation middle. That just shows you the power of that Battle Fury. You know, you clear a couple neutral camps, and you use Blink to get between them quickly, and all of a sudden... they want to set up a gank here mid. Not sure if they're going to be able to, though. Tidehunter does have the ultimate. Anti-Mage is quite squishy right now. Ravage comes out. Will they have the follow-up? They are going to shackle him down. Great TP support. And that's actually going to be 3 kills for the Radiant. This should be a tier 1 tower mid off of the back of that kill. Or that gank, rather.
Dire's middle tower.
So the tier 1 tower will go down.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Sandcane, meanwhile, in that support role, he's going to pick up his Arcane Boots now, but he's not going to have a Blink Dagger for a long time. And he's really their only reliable form of initiation. Yes, they have the Blinks on the Anti-Mage and the Queen of Pain, as well as the Darkseer Surge, Vacuum. So there's some other initiation type spells, but none of these heroes really want to be running in first. Sandcane's the one who can do that most effectively, but unfortunately, because he's in that dual lane support role in the top lane, he's not going to be anywhere near that. So that's something to keep an eye on. If he doesn't have that Blink Dagger in the next 10-15 minutes, it could be a lot of trouble for their team. As the Radiant doesn't really need that much to initiate. Tidehunter's Ravage is a massive AoE. Action middle. Angel might get picked off again. Loda gonna possibly die to this Ion Shell. Angel actually looks like he might get away here. He is going to be able to run out successfully, so good heads-up play by him. Pycat has moved to the bottom lane to farm. The downside to trading the farm with the Anti-Mage is once Pycat gets his Sacred Relic, and he's only 1,700 gold off, he's going to be a bigger force in these team fights. What Anti-Mage has in extra farming ability early on, Spectre makes up for in his teamfight presence and his global ganking ability. So we'll have to see. If XP is able to take advantage of that. 4 heroes back at the fountain. Everyone needs a little heal here, except for Pycat. 8-4 is the score in favor of the Radiant, so they're doing pretty well in the hero killing department. But at the same time, this Anti-Mage just really, the gank on him did set him back quite a bit, though. Let's see, is there anything on the courier for him? No, there's not. So looks like he did opt to complete his poor man's shield. And now he's going to go back to the jungle, finish up those power treads. 3 Radiant heroes smoked up. Really want to gank off this Anti-Mage, but this might be the wrong gank. This is not a good place for the Radiant to be. Burrow Strake's going to go off. Lich Ultimate's going to go off, and that's going to be a double kill, possibly a triple kill. Windrunner needs to get out of there. She's really in trouble. I don't know why she's staying. Rai's going to be able to throw off a... No, looks like Windrunner will be able to escape. Pretty close call there, though. And meanwhile, Spectre's just happily farming away on the bottom lane. He's not really being pressured at all, so you have to figure that either DD is confident in their late game or they're just not confident in their ability to gank this guy. Anti-Mage, obviously one of the stronger late game heroes, but Spectre is such a beast. So hard to take down because of that dispersion. And the more damage you do to him, the more you hurt yourself. So Tidehunter ports in, he does have the ultimate. Looking to set something up here, doing a nice job of hero blocking Angel. Will he pop the Ravage for 1 hero again? I'm sure he doesn't want to. Angel will be slowed, but the Ravage goes off. They're tired of Angel's escapes. That might have been a mistake, though. Sand King comes in, tries to pop up the ultimate. It's immediately cancelled here. A lot of action going on. Looks like Ake is going to drop to the Queen of Pain. Sand King's still trying to get out of here. Pycat's on the chase. There's no Sandstorm. He's going to get away. Lich comes in, but he doesn't have the ultimate this time. Wants to pick off this Tidehunter. Tidehunter goes down. 2 hero Shackle Shot. That's going to spell the death of both. Really heads-up play there by the Windrunner. Angel going to try to run away. He might actually try to fight here, knowing that he can't get away. He's surrounded, and that Spectre ultimate just really, you know, look at that. Already has the money for his relic and a good chunk of the way towards the Radiance. XP knowing that their advantage is in the team fight and forcing the issue, really smart. You know, it's one of the keys in any Dota game, whether it's professional or pub, is to really know the strengths of your hero lineup and try and take advantage of them. XP doing a great job of that here. Anti-Mage really wants to get this tower mid. The courier might die if they're not careful. He is not microing the courier back. Will XP go for it? They're not going to. They could have had that courier. Killing a courier with the new changes to it is a big deal. It's 150 gold for every hero. If my math serves me correctly, that's 750 gold for the team, which is almost a tower kill's worth of gold. And it will respawn, and you have a chance to do it again. So a pause does come out here. And I'm actually going to use this opportunity just to grab some coffee. I will be right back. One of the downsides to casting Source TV is when these pauses come out, the pause happens whenever it's happening in real time. Normally you have a 2-minute delay on the Source TV servers, but in this case, I'm not really sure why the game was paused. Because it's paused in real time, we won't see the player chat until later. So no idea why it's paused. Probably someone having technical difficulties, and hopefully they'll be back into the game soon. Spectre and Anti-Mage are pretty much toe-to-toe in terms of level. Spectre having a huge advantage with that 5 kills, 0 deaths, 3 assists to the 2-1-3 on Anti-Mage. But Anti-Mage is, you know, leading the way in the farm battle, so XP really needs to continue forcing these team fights, especially once that Radiance is completed. Looks like he went for the recipe first, and he's just 30 gold away. This is a really fast Radiance. And it's not like he rushed it naked either. He's got the Vanguard Treads, now the Radiance as well, so this ultimate, as soon as it cools down, I would expect XP to push. Yeah, I would expect XP to push, and if DD tries to fight, it's going to be a lot of trouble for them. Venomancer to pick up an Illusion Rune, just using those to scout a bit. Let's see what the Dire are up to. Perhaps worried about a Roshan attempt, although I really don't think the Dire have the best heroes to do it early. They do have Lich with Frost Armor, so that's pretty good. Anti-Mage going in on the Windrunner, but she's going to be just fine. Windrunner having already completed that mecha, another great team item. I'm surprised she's not denying this tier 1 tower. Perhaps looking to bait a team fight. One of the cool things you can do if a tower is low, and I think I mentioned this in one of my previous casts, is you can actually leave the tower around, not deny it. Then when the enemy goes for it, you can pop the glyph and force them to fight under the tower, which gives you a big advantage. Anti-Mage, just learning that Rasta's got a new toy in that Blink Dagger. Let's see if they're going to chase. There's no way they're going to catch him. Spectre ults, but he's not actually going to go in anywhere, and DD, sensing the opportunity, is going to go bottom. It's going to be a double kill for them. A lot of ultimates being dropped. Will Sankey be able to get away? He will not. Pycat comes in, and everyone from DD is going to have to retreat. Pycat going to give up the chase. Might have been able to chase down that Lich, actually. But Lich is going to TP out and be just fine. Spectral Dagger just coming off cooldown, so actually probably would not have been able to catch the Lich. So it looks like there were some computer issues on XP. Hopefully those are resolved now. So Loda did, unfortunately he wasn't able to make anything happen with that Blink Dagger. And when you first buy a Blink Dagger, if the enemy doesn't know about it, that's a great opportunity for you. So you really want to make the most of that first gank with it, as it can really set you on the right path to having an advantage in the game. Of course, XP does appear to still have an advantage. In terms of the gold, they're up by 1,000. Spectre being attacked here, but just so hard to kill. I mean, all those nukes being thrown out, 3 heroes chasing him, and he's able to get away with still half his life. And XP might decide this is a good time zone to push. Loda with the haste rune, going to be chasing. He's got the Blink Dagger. He's going to go in on Sandcane, but there's just too much backup, and he doesn't feel safe on his own. His teammate's not able to catch up in time, so he's going to back out. Meanwhile, Link doing what he does best, he's pushing the side lanes, and this is the power of an anti-mage with a Battle Fury. He's so mobile and he pushes the lane so hard that he's able to put pressure on the enemy towers. You see a lot of pub anti-mages will just use the Battle Fury to farm the jungle. Uh-oh, Shadow Shaman getting a little over-aggressive there. Link's going to punish him for that, and he's now up to level 17. That was not a kill they wanted to give up, and this might force them back. A lot of pub anti-mages do like to sort of farm in the jungle with that Battle Fury because it's safer. But one of the best ways to win a game with any sort of Battle Fury carry, really, especially someone who's mobile like an anti-mage, is to constantly push the side lanes. If you're putting pressure on the towers, then your opponents are not, they're never going to really feel comfortable pushing the other lane. So if you see 4 heroes grouped up, let's say top, or 5 heroes grouped up here, just go to the bottom lane, start pushing it, and they can either back or you can trade towers. Now, this doesn't always work. If they're going for the racks, obviously, you need to back out. But in this case, Link doing a great job putting pressure, and he's actually able to catch Loda being a little overeager there. Little action bottom, just a gush going out and a surge as the reply, so nothing too much to report. One thing Dire does have going for them, and Link has completed his Manta style, so he's got some great farm too.
Regeneration.
If the game goes long enough, it's actually hard to say who will win in a straight-up fight between Anti-Mage and Spectre. It really comes down to their items. Generally, I would give the edge to a Spectre, but most Spectres just go tank build. And if Link goes something like a Vlad's at some point, he's got that lifesteal, he may be able to, and a Butterfly for the evasion, he might be able to outright click. So it's really all going to come down to the team fights for XP. They probably don't want to have Anti-Mage 1v1ing anyone on their team, even the Spectre. Right now, I think Spectre would be just fine, but later on, he might have some issues. Little action in the top lane. Looks like Queen of Pain's going to go down here. You see that Desolate, plus the Radiance damage, just too much. Just a simple Shackle, really able to take Queen of Pain down from full health. And this is one of the problems with that dual lane Queen of Pain. She just doesn't have the farm. She's working on... Looks like she thought about going for a Bloodstone, and she's now going for an Aghanims, maybe just getting the Perseverance for the regen. But that's going to set back her Aghanims by quite a bit. Aghanim's obviously a great item in Queen of Pain because it lowers the cooldown of your ultimate to, I believe it's 40 seconds. Spectre ultimate on the bottom lane. Will Lich be able to get his ult off in time? He will not. Spectre just chewing through those illusions from the Darkseer wall, so a pretty good counter to Darkseer in that regard. Darkseer does have the surge in 1 second. He should be able to get away. There's no mana for the dagger, so Spectre or Darkseer will barely escape there. Close call for him though. Still a very even game in terms of the gold graph. If we just do a quick farm check, Spectre with 163 creeps, Link just completely eclipsing that with 240. But Spectre's got the 4 extra kills to sort of make up for that. So Link is farming better overall, I believe. If we check our gold per minute, he probably has a little bit more here. 477 on the Spectre, 529 on Anti-Mage. So Link does have a bit better farm, but will it be enough? I mean, his team is struggling as a result. He's not there in these team fights. I wonder what he'll go for next. Will we see a sort of more standard late-game build of a Heart as well as a Butterfly? Will we see him go for a BKB and try to win some mid-game fights? It's anybody's guess at this point. Let's do a quick farm check here, or item check rather, on some of the supports. As I say that, it looks like Darkseer wants to make a go on Ake. This is a pretty aggressive dive. I'm not sure they should be doing this. And it looks like they are going to back off. Okay guys, can I do my item check? Shadow Shaman with the Blink Dagger, really nothing else. Just the boots, Bottle Bracer, Wand. Venomancer with nothing. Windrunner is really the only support who has items on this entire Radiant lineup. As I say that, action in the top river. Rai is going to be taken down here by the Shadow Shaman Tidehunter combo.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Do they have Sentry Wards for the Sand King? I don't believe they do, so he should be just fine.
Tower has fallen.
Okay guys, seriously, I need to do this item check. So Queen of Pain, overall the Dire really have a lot more farm on their supports. We've got Sand King pretty comparable to the Tidehunter, but Queen of Pain has Point Booster Perseverance. She's almost got the Aghanims completed. Darkseer really fat for someone who's soloing the long lane. Vanguard Soul Ring, working on that Aghanim Scepter. If he ever finishes that, I don't know if Spectre Illusions get Dispersion. I don't believe they do. But they still hurt quite a bit, as obviously that Radiance Burn will be in effect. So Darkseer perhaps picked for that reason to help counter the Spectre. Action top. Angel not the easiest hero to kill though, and I think he's going to be just fine. Yeah, Angel should be able to get out of here. So they're spending a lot of time trying to gank heroes that are not easy to kill, like Angel. And meanwhile, Anti-Mage is just happily free farming. Loda going to go down here, just getting chewed through a great ward trap. Queen of Pain ult almost missing there, just going to hit. Link going to run away, and he should be just fine. Spectre tries to chase, but there's no way you're catching that Anti-Mage with just a Spectre. And if the Dire keep... This is really what favors the Dire, so these small engagements with 2-3 heroes. I'm a little surprised XP hasn't thought about doing a push. They're probably waiting for Pajkat's next big item, which is going to be a Manta style. It's a good choice on the Spectre, but I wonder if something like a Heart might have been a little better. The one downside to Manta versus an Anti-Mage is that the Mana Burn does work on the illusions, I believe. I could be wrong about that. If I am, someone correct me in spectator chat. But if that's the case, then obviously Anti-Mage is pretty good versus those illusions. They do not get Dispersion, so he won't have to worry about taking too much damage from attacking them. In any case, the Manta style is complete. I would really expect to see a Heart next on the Spectre. There's still a lot of nuke damage on the... Yeah, they have an Anti-Mage, and he is getting extremely farmed. But at the same time, you've got a Queen of Pain, a Sand King, a Lich, a Darkseer. That's a lot of nuke damage to worry about. So you really can't just go for physical damage, or something like a Butterfly, and be sitting around with only 1800 health. You do have Dispersion, but I don't think it's enough. Looks like Anti-Mage going to be soloing Roshan here. He'll probably get a little support from his team. And because he's got that Blink ability, the Radiant has no idea. They also don't have a ward anywhere near this. So the Heart completed on Anti-Mage. Probably will be going for Butterfly next. Shadow Shaman showing some good map awareness. Is going to come in here. They're going on to Lich. Lich probably going to go down. Lich does go down. Lich not having a very good game at all. Spectre really loves these squishy support heroes and is able to melt through them quickly. So the Radiant might be able to get this Roshan. Some really heads-up play by them just to sense the Roshan coming. Especially since Anti-Mage has been off the map almost the entire game. He's been mostly farming the jungle, occasionally seen and pushing a lane, but never for too long. The Dire really wants to fight this. Anti-Mage pops the illusions before blinking in, so they're going to have to walk in. That might give the Radiant really want to finish this. Are they going to get it in time, though? Roshan is getting quite low. Queen of Pain comes in, wants to try and steal it. The ult comes out. Spectre does get the Aegis. That's going to be huge. And it looks like that's going to force the Radiant to retreat. Tidehunter starts to pop the ult and then backs out. Now he's going to pop it. Loda blinks in. Some really good coordination here from XP. Anti-Mage going to true through Loda. He is going to pick off Loda at least, so gets something for his trouble. 2 for 2 so far. Windrunner chasing the Anti-Mage. Let's see if Anti-Mage turns around on her. I almost feel he could. Windrunner realizing that she needs to back off. She might be in some trouble here. Anti-Mage comes in. She's out of mana. She's probably going to go down. Meanwhile, Darkseer is killing the Tidehunter. Anti-Mage kills off Windrunner, so what looked like a great fight for the Radiant. Well, Spectre has an Aegis, but they did give up an extra hero, so I think overall a slight advantage for the Radiant from that team fight because they got the gold as well. But nothing too big, and now Anti-Mage is going to be able to push. Heart just one of the best pushing items in the game. Not because it makes you push faster, but because you can heal up and not have to go back to Fountain, which will allow him to take advantage of these heroes being dead for a little while longer. So he's going to get this tower, look for him to probably go top and try to get that one as well. Looks like he's headed that way. So just take a quick look at the gold graph here. It has dipped strongly in favor of the Dire. So that team fight was pretty big. I think Shadow Shaman had a bit of a streak that got ended there, even though he's 4 and 6. Yeah, XP's supports are just really struggling this game. I mean, if you look at the farm right now, Anti-Mage with 319, and then you have Queen of Pain and Darkseer with pretty respectable scores. Shadow Shaman and Windrunner not too far behind. But then the secondary support on Sand King even has 66, so he's not doing too bad. He's probably got his Blink Dagger by now, and in fact he does. Sorry if I missed that. I don't think he had it in the last fight, but he might have. So DD going to be setting up for a push here in the bottom lane. They have a decent ward set up here that'll let them see if anyone's trying to backstab them. Looks like XP is afraid of a team fight now. Probably waiting for some of those long ultimates to cool down. Ravage still on cooldown. Venomancer ultimate is up. So really they're just waiting for the Ravage. I'm a little surprised D2E isn't pushing harder now. Whenever you play against a big team fight lineup, one of the best things you can do is fight when they don't have their ultimates. Windrunner going to be stunned, burrow striked here by the Sand Cane, but Windrunner still has the Windrun, should be fine. Shackle Shot does latch, but Anti-Mage is in the front lines doing a lot of damage and scaring everyone off. Sort of like a Night Stalker would in the earlier phases of the game, just getting into the front lines, really wreaking havoc on the squishier supports. The Darkseer wall going to be so powerful here. I guess he's got his Aghanims now, because that's a lot of illusions, and I see some allied ones in there. Another great reason for that Darkseer to be picked up. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Anti-Mage picking up a bunch of kills here. Really hard to see what's an actual hero. Where's the real Anti-Mage right now? Looks like he's killing Tidehunter. This might be a GG. They might all kill themselves fighting the Spectre. No, Anti-Mage is going to be just fine. Everyone else in a little bit of trouble, though. And now they've got to kill Spectre again. I'm not sure if they can do it. They're going to try. And there's going to be a pause. Game is unpaused, and Spectre is going to retreat. He's got enough money to work on something else. I would expect to see a Reaver on him. But at this point, Anti-Mage almost has that Butterfly, and once that's complete, I don't even think Spectre can fight him. At the very least, Anti-Mage is not going to be too afraid of dying to Spectre. Can always blink himself out if he gets in any real trouble. And that was a great fight for the Dire. They picked off a bunch of heroes, they got rid of the Aegis. Now they're in prime position to pick up the next one. Almost a 10,000 gold lead here. So it's looking a little grim for our friends on XP, I have to say. We're going to need to see some super hack shackle shots if they want to pull this one out. Just going to check the items again real quick. So, really, absolutely no item progression whatsoever on any of these Radiant heroes except for the Spectre, and that's a huge concern. The Queen of Pain has completed the Aghanim. Sand King got the Blink Dagger a little while ago. Anti-Mage just buying up his Butterfly now, so that's going to be one more huge item for them to worry about. Lich, no real item progression, but he's on the hardcore support, so you wouldn't expect that. Darkseer, as I mentioned, did complete the Aghanims. Curious to see what Darkseer will pick up now. Will we see something like a Hex? Maybe he'll go for a Refresher, although that seems... It sounds like a great idea, but I don't believe you can have double illusions of the same hero, even if you have two walls, so in practice it's really not as effective as it seems in theory. Anti-Mage picks up a DD. If he catches anyone, they're going to die for sure here. Tidehunter, seeing him with this ward, going to be running for his life. Anti-Mage going to happily continue farming. So 36 minutes in, Link up to almost 400 creep kills. Over 10 per minute, that is not good. And Spectre, even with the Radiance, only at 269, he just can't farm as fast as this Anti-Mage. And that's the power of the Battle Fury and the Blink Dagger, even with the Radiance. Just not enough. Anti-Mage can be backdooring. Doesn't even matter. And it looks like D2E is feeling confident they can win this game now. They're going to be pushing it. Going to be pushing their advantage. They're pushing onto the high ground. And with Anti-Mage, they can do it without really having to worry about anyone dying. The Darkseer wall goes down. That's so much damage. These illusions do 50% damage. Way higher than a Manta illusion or an illusion rune. Shackle Shot on Anti-Mage. He still doesn't carry. Still at a two-thirds health. He blinks out. I'll let that heart reach him up, and then he'll come back in. Wards drop defensively. Spectre going to come in. Anti-Mage cleaving through the illusions, but he's getting dispersed a lot. Tidehunter Blink Ravage just late, hitting almost nobody. Only the Queen of Pain. Sand King going to counter-initiate here. And I think this is the fight D2E was hoping for. Anti-Mage going to come back in. Loda goes down, but he might die. He should have buyback. I believe he does. Just going to barely blink out. That's unfortunate. Pycat going for the Blind Dagger, trying to catch the Anti-Mage, who was definitely one nuke from death. But he's healing back up quickly, and honestly, they are going to back out because that Queen of Pain did drop. And they used a bunch of ults, but honestly, I almost feel like they could continue pushing. The Ravage is down, the Rasta wards are down. The Venomancer ult has not been used, but he's only level 11. That really isn't that big of a deal anymore. And Spectre's ult is down as well. So I'm a little surprised they're not pushing here. Looks like they're going to play it safe, go for the next Roshan when he respawns. Wonder what anti-mage will pick up now. We could see a Vlad's, he might go for a Bariza. MKB, probably not necessary since nobody's got the evasion. It is a good item just for the damage though. We could even see a late game Hex. It's actually a really great item on anti-mage, especially if your team is lacking in disable. Which this Dire lineup is. They've really just got the Sand Cane for the hard disable. Obviously he's going to save for buyback, but at this rate he'll probably have money for buyback and another item fairly shortly. For anyone who's wondering, the illusions do not actually cleave even though you see that red graphic showing splash damage. That is just a visual bug. So, don't worry, anti-mage isn't that imbo. Just checking the gold graph again, it's dipped over 14,000. The longer this game goes, the bleaker it looks, and Link is going to go with a BKB. Actually a great choice. He's not going to have much to worry about. I don't know if... I think that blocks Dispersion too. I believe it's magical damage. I mean, I believe it does pure damage, but it's magical type. Lich ult drop. Everything drops on Pycat here. They really want to bring him down, and I think they're going to be successful. He wastes the ult too, and he's not even going to be able to get away. He did complete that heart. He didn't save for buyback. That should be GG now. D2E can at least get a set of racks off of this. And there's just no push power on this Radiant lineup. Yeah, they've got the Rost Awards, or the Shadow Shame Awards, but that's only good for one tower. And they take a lot longer than the Santi-Mage. So, it's looking bleak. Undefended rack's going to be... Link actually focusing on the range. Really should not do that, but it's not going to matter. They're going to get the melee as well. He's actually going to... What are they doing here? Okay, leaving one support to finish off that rack's going to go straight for top. They want to get 2 out of this trade, and then possibly port home and defend their own. Shadow Shame Awards are dropped, but Dire does not have their glyph. Radiant just pops theirs now. A bit of a base trade here, but obviously it's favoring DD.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
2 sets of racks for 1. Roshan is still not up, but he will be shortly.
Radiant's middle tower is under
For anyone who's watching, I have been meaning to start writing down the Roshan timer, and I apologize for forgetting this game, but I will do my best to remember in future casts, so that I can look even smarter than the players, and also know when he's actually up. Mega Creep's coming out here, so the base trade backfires big time for XP. The Spectre pick just not strong enough to take down this Anti-Mage, despite their great team fight. Tidehunter going to probably go down here. He blinks himself away. That's not going to be enough to escape Anti-Mage. This is going to be a kill. And without that Ravage, no buyback on the Tidehunter. No buyback on the Tidehunter. That should be the game. They could really end it now. They'll probably go for Roshan. Who's still not up, but will be any second now. I really don't want to look at the gold graph. It's going to be pretty painful, but we'll take a look at that. It hasn't really updated yet. It's a lot more than a 14,000 gold lead right now. It's got to be closer to 18, 20,000 at this point. Really? It's only 14,000? That's kind of surprising. Considering they just killed a bunch of heroes and got 2 sets of racks in all the buildings. From actually 3 sets of racks. But maybe they didn't last hit any of the racks. You don't get the gold for them if you don't last hit them. Spectre ults in. He's not going to be able to do a thing. Anti-Mage, or Spectre picks up the Aegis actually. He jacks it. This could be huge, but I don't think he can take down. I don't think he can take down Link even with the Aegis. You see the BKB blocking all that dispersion damage. Pycat has no response to this, and he'll kill him again, no problem. Might chase the supports. They don't even care. They just want to kill Pycat and end the game. Pycat going to go down twice here for sure. He is quite hard to take down, but he just what can he do? You know, there's just no way to escape. The Burrow Strike comes in, Anti-Mage will right-click. Ravage comes out. Meanwhile, the base is in a lot of trouble. The creeps are eating away at it. Anti-Mage probably going to take down the Spectre. In any case, he's got the buyback, so he doesn't care if he dies. And this is definitely a worthwhile sacrifice. He's not even going to die. Windrunner's going to drop here, too. She needs to run. Does Queen of Pain have a Hex yet? She does have a Hex. She chooses not to use it. The GG's come out. They know the game's over.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
DD just really, in 42 minutes in, Link just with some astronomical farm this game. He's rocking 750 gold per minute. Spectre did pretty well, but only at 500, just not able to do the damage.
Radiant's Ancient is under
And that's going to be the
attack.
game. Anti-Mage blinks back to farm some creeps. Link padding his stats a little more before the game ends, and we will see the Rex finally go, or Throne finally go down. So, well played by both teams. Again, this was XP versus DD for the Dota 2 Europe Invitational, or Challenge, excuse me. As Larry David casting this one, and I might be bringing you more games, but for now I'm going to end this VOD, so thanks again for watching.